Hello, mighty companions. This is Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you to A Course in Miracles on Facebook Live. And I'm going to be talking about how do you stay in the now, how do you find the present, how do you let go of the past, 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 how do you stop obsessing about the future, how do you stop obsessing about what's going to happen next, the not yet, the not yet. And so how do you stay present, how do you stay present where your peace is, how do you stay present where the love is. And the Course in Miracles calls that section Finding the Present. And so I'm going to start out and go deeper in that section. I started on it last week. And I'm going to start out with our theme song, which is one of the Course in Miracles workbook lessons that was set to music by my friend John Christmas. So if you like this music, if you like the song, it's based on the teachings of the Course. You can go to his website, johnchristmas.com, and you can download the music at no charge whatsoever. So wonderful. So this is what we're going to do. So if you want to let go of the past, if you want to let go of the past, if you want to know how to stay present, especially with the person you're in a relationship with or a friendship with, this is what we're going to be talking about. How do you stay now? How do you stay now? So I don't know about you, but I have learned through the Course that every time I'm feeling any kind of conflict in any kind of way, I'm either thinking about the past or thinking about the future. I defy anyone to tell me anything that they're upset about or worried about or concerned about that won't be something that they're anticipating might happen in the future, or they're obsessing about something that's happened in the past. There is no way a happy person is in the past or future. So I always think about that, because the Course is always trying to teach us how to tell the difference between what it calls right-mindedness and wrong-mindedness, or love or fear, or peace or conflict. And especially if you're here for the first time, I'm going to give you the guidelines for the Course, but after I hear our theme song, because I need to get myself kind of warmed up here. Here we go. And let everybody online get settled in. It's so funny. It's like I'm not a victim. I want you to listen to the words. Of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see. You're not a victim of the world you see. I'm not a victim of my mom. Not a victim of your heart. You're not a victim of events or circumstance at all. You're not a victim of the world you see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I've done to me. That includes the good stuff. I'm not a victim of the future, not a victim of the past, not a victim of anything that really doesn't last. I'm not a victim of the world I see. What's happening now is what I've done to me. Yeah. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see. Please take a moment to take a breath. Let's do another good one. I know we're Americans, so therefore it's not always easy for us to just do nothing for a second. So I want to acknowledge you for your willingness to do that. So just take a breath. want to welcome mighty companions that are watching from around the world. Thank you for all of the comments and reactions and feedback that I get. It's been interesting. It's been interesting. It was funny. Facebook had sent me a notice because telling me that the last 30 days that I had gotten 3,000 responses to the class. And I didn't get any negative comments. Must be something spirits handling and not me. You hear what I said? And maybe they're not showing up is because it's okay if they do. That I don't expect everybody to agree with me. I don't think I should be in front of the room if I expect everybody to agree with me. So that's okay. That's why the Course in Miracles, I love how it, when it gave the guidelines for the attitude that you're supposed to take when you study it. By the way, it's called A Course in Miracles because it says a miracle is a correct thought, a right thought, a loving thought. And if we have a correct thought, a loving thought, a right thought, it says it's a miracle. So it's a Course in Miracles because it's a miracle if I forgive you. It's a miracle if I'm kind in the sense of the world we appear to be living in right now. It seems like it's a miracle when someone's really expressing love and safety, letting you be, supporting who you are, not trying to get you to act out their script in order for them to be happy. It's funny. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you online. I want to thank you for showing up because we're remembering together. I call myself the Divine Repetition Teacher, and I call myself your remembering coach because the Course in Miracles says there's nothing more important than remembering what it's saying. That in remembering what it's saying is more important than understanding what it's saying. And it says remembering what it's saying is more important than analyzing what it's saying. If I tell you that my wallet is in the cabinet in the bedroom, it's much more important that you remember that my wallet is in the cabinet in the bedroom if you want to go get it than trying to remember how wallets were made. Right? So we're going to continue on finding the present. And if you got the book, and I got some loaner copies up here, we're going to be on page 250. And I'm going to do a quick review of what I covered last week. And then I'm going to start. It's on page 250 in the Course in Miracles text, chapter 13. It's called The Guiltless World. And the guidelines, let me give you the guidelines to the Course like I was saying. If you're here for the first time, just remember, you don't have to believe the ideas. You don't have to believe the ideas. You do not have to believe the ideas. You do not have to believe the ideas. You do not have to believe the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You don't even have to welcome what I'm about to say. You don't have to welcome what I'm about to say. You don't have to accept what I'm saying, and you don't have to believe what I'm saying. As a matter of fact, do you know that I'm going to probably say some things that you resist? I might say some things that you resist. I might say some things that you resist. I might say some things you don't like. I might say some things you don't like. The Course in Miracles, basically, may say some things. I didn't write it, so I say it this way. The Course in Miracles may say some things that you don't like, things that you find hard to believe. Then it says, well, some of the things you hear might startle you. Be something that you totally were not expecting to hear. So something that the Course in Miracles says might startle you. Then it also says that you're not asked to judge at all, or to judge that. You're not, in other words, nobody's asking you to judge whether or not the Course in Miracles is true. Nobody's asking me to judge. Nobody's hired me to judge whether this is true or not. So nobody's asking me to judge. I'm not asking you to judge. That's what the Course says. It's a trip. Then it says, well, how will you know that it's true? Well, he says the use of the ideas, using the ideas will give the ideas meaning and will show you that the idea is true. If I give you the idea that if you put an ice tray in the freezer with some water in it and it's going to freeze, then if you use that idea so you can make ice, then you will see that that idea was true because you used the idea of putting the ice tray in the freezer. So my point in saying that is this. If you think listening to what any teacher or any recording or any video or any work or anything you do, if you think listening is going to make what it's saying happen, you're really making a mistake. Yeah. Listening to me is not going to make one single thing that I say happen. What would make something that I'm saying happen would be what would come through me would be something that you used. And then as a result of using it, you would see whether or not it's true. Does that make sense to everybody? Let me check in. Right, okay. So I love how the Course says we're on a great hunt. And it says it's the use of the ideas that will give the meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. So the way I believe more and more and more in the last 43 years of teaching and studying this, the more I use the ideas, the more that I see that the ideas are true. So, and then the more you accept something is true for yourself, the less important it is to you whether anybody else believes it. Right? So it's like, because I've accepted this is true and it works for me, I don't really teach from the perspective that I'm not trying to be, acting weird, but I don't really care if you believe it or not. I honestly don't care if you agree with me. It's like me saying I'm Earl Purdy and you saying I'm Bugs Bunny. I'm not going to argue with you about that because it's so ridiculous. I know who I am, so I don't have any need to defend it. And what I love about the truth is that the truth is going to come to you in a way that you're willing to receive it. And so does love. Sometimes we try to hook up with the wrong person. You ever did that? You ever tried to connect up with the wrong person in a relationship? Has anybody here done that? Ha, ha, ha. Yeah. So what's really cool about that is that every time you do something like that, and it's full of pain or conflict, you're getting a chance to learn what love isn't. Because once you know what love isn't, then when somebody's giving it to you, you won't accept it. Love isn't you attacking me. Love isn't you trying to make me feel guilty. Love isn't you trying to make me act out of script. Love isn't you trying to limit me in any kind of way. You see what I'm saying? See, I know what love isn't. So if I'm in the presence of someone and they're angry and controlling and dominating and trying to control me in any kind of way, I don't have to fool myself into saying that person loves me. And once I know you don't love me, then I'm not going to try that hard to hold on to you. That's what I did when I didn't love myself. Because I needed somebody to constantly witness back to me that I was as pathetic as I thought I was. so they was right there. You low down, little no good, selfish dude. It's like, that's what I think, right? So I need to find the present. So I'm gonna let me do it just set the timer for 5 minutes, please. Okay, so here's the review. We were told last week that if you want to see truly and see correctly, you become aware of the truth of everything through being aware of your own reality. So what does that mean? If I want to know the truth about you, what I need to do is learn the truth about me. If I learn the truth about me, the same rules apply to you that apply to me. Gravity doesn't go, I'm not going to operate for Earl because he's black. Nothing that's real has exceptions. Anything that's really true, it applies regardless. That's why I think it's ludicrous. It's funny to me how much people think culture somehow determines what's right, but it varies from person to person, place to place, country to country. That's how you know that culture is made up. That's how you know our morality is made up. That's how you know all our rules about relationships, sex, you name it. You know we made it up because it doesn't apply to everybody equally. And anything that doesn't apply to everybody equally is not real, according to A Course in Miracles, which I said, you do not have to believe, you do not have to accept. Welcome, you might resist, find it hard to believe, startling. So the Course says then that if I'm going to see you, I'll use this as an example. If I'm going to see Megan, then I have to see Megan as she is right now. I have to see you. If I'm going to see you, I have to see you right now. And so if I want to see her right now, if you want to see me right now, then you have to have no references from my past or the past, because if you're looking to think about anything from my past, you're not seeing who I am right now. So in the way you reacted to me in the past, I made you mad because I didn't get home on time last week. The thing that you are mad at me about is not here. It's not happening. So whatever you're mad, whatever it is that my dad didn't do when I was 10 years old, it's not happening. So whenever I think about the past, I'm thinking about something that's not happening, right? So you're thinking about a past relationship. What are you thinking about a not happening relationship? You see what I'm saying? If you're thinking about the past, you're always thinking about the gone. He says you're thinking about something that's not there. Whenever you think about the past, you're thinking about something that's not there. So then he says, so if I am looking at you in terms of the way you used to be that upset me, then I'm cherishing the image that I have of you more than the truth, which is right now you're not doing nothing to me. If I think you're low down, if I think you're dirty, and that's because of something that I thought about you and felt about you in the past, then I want to hold on to that grievance. I don't want to see my father differently than the way I saw my father when I have grievances against my Father's Day, right? So right now, you know, this is the day of my father guilt. It's put the emphasis on me as a father, right? So then if I'm looking at that, then I'm looking at that in terms of what kind of father I've been and what kind of father I've been in the past. Because that's all I can do if I look back. That's what they call the past. Looking back, right? So I'm looking back. If I cherish something that I think I did or did not do as a father, and I cherish that right now, I won't be seeing myself as I am today. Because today I'm 1,000% more attentive, focused, loving, conscious, and sane with my children than I've ever been. So if I feel guilty about anything about me as a father, it's because I'm relating it back to some memory that I've made up from the past. So when you're saying when you say to your father, and everybody's sending out these messages, Happy Father's Day, remember that means you need to see your father only as your father is now, and not the grievances and things from the past that you think he did or did not do. If you really want to wish him a Happy Father's Day, take your judgments off of him. And if I really want to have a Happy Father's Day, I have to take my judgments off myself. Or I like to say, take my judgments off the self that I made up that I think I am. Because you're just making up who you are from moment to moment by the concepts of yourself that you have. Don't you see that? You know, I'm making up who Earl is from moment to moment, depending on how I'm judging Earl from moment to moment, right? Do you do that? Judge yourself from moment to moment and have what you call moods? Moods are nothing but constantly changing interpretations of yourself. What is a mood? It's a constantly changing evaluation of yourself. 1 minute I feel good about me. Next minute I feel a little depressed about me. 1 minute I'm worried. So I go through moods, and people don't know that the moods are coming from their constantly changing judgments on themselves. So if you're a moody person and you're real moody, you're judging yourself too much and too often. And I can tell you that you're not judging yourself correctly if you are going through what you call bad moods. Wow, okay, all right, okay. A bad mood is just me continually thinking about something, and it's not something that's the correct thing that I'm thinking about. So I've had a lot of days lately, a few days lately, because of great transformations going on within myself and in my consciousness. I have watched myself go through a lot of emotional extremes because I feel safe enough to let the stuff come up that I've been repressing since I thought I was a child. So because the truth over all these years have taught me to not judge myself so harshly, it taught me how to love myself. I said, you need to be really loving yourself before you see the stuff you've done. I'm going to show you some stuff. You better have the correct perception of yourself when I show you the stuff that you think you've done. And I went, wow, that's deep. That's deep. You mean I've been studying all these years just to get to the point that I can hear what's wrong with me without judging myself for it, without condemning myself. You see what I'm saying? It's not about me repressing how I really feel because I'm trying to be positive. It's about me getting to the point that I'm really serious about looking at the stuff I'm doing to myself that I've been blaming everybody else for. So on Father's Day, we're going to use Father as a good theme to act this out, right? So the Course in Miracles says then, so I want you to question it. If you want to hold on to the image of your father more than who your father really is, which is who is somebody in this now moment is innocent, because they're not doing anything to you in this now moment. Right? So it says if you want to hang on to your grievances with somebody, it's because you cherish the way you're looking at them more than your willingness to look at them in a peaceful way. In other words, I want to be mad. That's a fan. See, I'm a translator. A translator is supposed to give you another way of looking at something you don't understand without changing the meaning, right? So I just say it in plain language. If I really want to stay mad at you about what I think you did, then I'm going to cherish that image I have of you and that grievance I have of you more than seeing you as you really are, which is a person that's not doing anything to me in this moment. So in this moment, you're innocent. Your dad is innocent. If your dad is out of the body, he's even more innocent. Wow. And you might get upset with him, what you think of as abandoning you, but actually he hasn't abandoned you. He just fulfilled his agreement for what you were going to learn through him. And that was the end of the agreement. He played his part. It was time for him to leave the body. You chose him. You chose her. That's what this book, just the truth tells us. Nothing happens to us that we didn't choose to happen to us. Everything that happens to us, we're the one that creates either it or our perception of it, right? So he says, ask yourself if it's really sane to see what happened in the past. I'm just doing this in plain language. Ask yourself if it's really sane to see what happened in the past is happening right now. So here's the lesson. What is the lesson? If you remember the past, if you remember what this person did in the past, when you look at them, you're not going to be able to see who they are right now. If you look at me in terms of what you went through with me in the past, you're not going to see that I'm not the husband that I was 30 years ago right now. So it's always funny when people walk up to me and they think that they know me based on an experience they had with me in the past. They go, I know you, Earl. Have you ever had somebody said it to you? They go, I know you. And then they'll say what it is they think they know. And you that's the craziest, untrue stuff. And then they'll want to believe that they're right about what they're saying about you, even though you the person, and you just stood in front of them and said, no, you were told, oh, you know you really like that. And the Course in Miracles says, do you know why the Course in Miracles says we do that? It says the reason why we judge people and want to hang on to our judgments is because we're trying to convince ourselves we know what's going on. So how do I convince myself to know what's going on with you? Then I'm going to want to believe my judgments about you are true. Because if what I tell myself about you is true, now I understand. So adults are always judging everything because they're trying to convince themselves they know something. And the Course in Miracles says in lesson, right in the first 10 lessons, there's a lesson that says, you do not understand anything you see. And then, or you could say, you don't understand anything you see. It's all about how you say it. And so let's go on. Now, people wonder why I read this book all the time, because it's smart. It's so awesome. Most people haven't heard the Course in Miracles because they'd be too busy judging it to ever read it. That's so funny. You think at least the judgment will come after the reading, right? We're the only creatures that judge something before we even check it out, right? And like sometimes I remember when I used to judge a chick as hot, before I ever really had a chance to check her out. I really wasn't checking her out until afterwards, right? Because when I check you out is when I'm communicating with you and I'm beginning to understand whether or not this is the content that I really want to hang out with, because in the end, I'm going to be hanging out with your mind and not your body. But sometimes I have to go through the body to get to the mind. You call that, treasure hunting. Okay. So I know none of you have ever had the goal of the body. I love how people look at me when I'm saying stuff that all of us do. That's always been an interesting thing about me teaching, is that we all do what I'm talking about. But then when someone tells us, we kind of look at them like, really? Jealousy? Really? What? And then in truth, sometimes they seem to trip out even more when I say it. Like if I have jealousy or anything that I'm going, it's like it's not about you will not get rid of your weaknesses, and this is a great thing the Course says. You will not get rid of your weaknesses until you tolerate them. And what? Because all my teaching was just don't tolerate weakness in yourself. He said no, when you tolerate it, you won't give it any power to do anything. It's fighting it that's giving it all the power. Oh, I got some weakness. Okay, I do. See, now let me move on. Right? So the Course in Miracles is saying, if you keep remembering the past when you look at anybody, you won't be able to see the truth about who they are right now. He says, but you all, do you know what you all do? He says, but what you all do is you consider it natural to use your past experience as a reference point. Right? I'm accustomed to using my past reference point when I look at anything. That's what he's saying right here. And you think it's natural. See, I think it's natural. I just met this new person, and I think it's natural to judge what's going to happen between me and them based on the experiences I've had in my other relationships in the past. We think that's natural. I had a bad time with this guy, and so from now on I'm not going to trust any man, because I'm going to treat every man that comes into my life now. I'm going to treat him based on the past experience that I had with somebody else. How fair is that to them? How fair is that to the new person? I just showed up. I don't need you judging me based on what your boyfriend did to you last time. So now you're looking for me to cheat because he cheated. There's no such thing as cheating. There's just an agreement on what cheating is, if you believe in cheating, and just making sure that you get with somebody else that agree with you and they don't want to cheat either, as you define cheating. But there ain't no such thing as cheating. I'm not a card game, I'm a being. I don't have to live by your rules. I don't have to live by your rules. You don't have to live by my rules. Your morality and beliefs don't have to be mine, but I have to be smart enough to know when they act like they do. See, that's the problem the truth students make. They forget how to act. And then they get clobbered, and their relatives put them in institutions because they think they're crazy. And the only reason why you in there, well, I was just trying to tell them there wasn't no body, and this is an illusion. How did I end up at the place? It's because, when you be quiet, they're going to think you're like them, that you're just like them. And so when people think you're just like them, they leave you alone. It's not until you open your mouth and express all your differences that they can feel threatened by you or not. And I got sense enough to know if I'm talking to a person that's a born-again Christian who believes in hell, I know enough not to start out the conversation with, the Course says there is no hell. See, we're not going to join from the very beginning. We're going to start our conversation and trying to make him trying to convince me that it is hell, me trying to convince him that it isn't hell. You know what I'm saying? And the truth is, it doesn't matter whether or not it's okay for him to believe in what he believes. I just have to accept that what I accept as my belief is what I'm going to experience. So I have to ask myself, do I want to believe in hell? Did you try to flip that? Right? You flip it because without a goal, you can't make up any decisions about what to do. Right? I got a goal to talk to y'all, then it's easy for me to evaluate that I should be here instead of the park. But if I didn't have a goal, I could be anywhere right now. So the Course is saying to us, we think it's natural to use our past experiences with another person, I'm going to say it that way, as a reference point from which to judge what's happening right now. But you're being unnatural. You're being unnatural, and so that means you're delusional. So that means you're in a world full of delusional people. You're in a world full of delusional people. You're in a world where people are dealing with everybody as if they are somebody else, and somebody else who's not even there. I'm dealing with you based on my past relationship that's not even there, and I'm using that as the reference point from which to judge who you are right now. And you're in a world full of those jokers. You're trying to go out with some of them. This book says the same thing any truth book I've ever read says, but it's something about the way the Course in Miracles says it that does you like this. So if you're into spiritual S&M, it's your book. Give me that truth. I'm trying to find my people, so I'm going to run everybody out there off who's not. And you know what I'm saying? There's going to be people that they go, I can't believe he said spiritual S&M. I'm never going to watch this class. And then I go, do you think I'm on a level of consciousness out of all these years that I care if somebody that doesn't like me leaves? And what else? I wish you well. That's why I look at the people who do that to me now. It's like, all changes are helpful.
Yeah.
I'm glad you gone. And since you think it's your idea, you won't stalk me. You know what I'm saying? Whenever somebody thinks it's their idea, they're not going to give you a hard time. I love it when people think they're quitting me. Really? I was like, oh, okay. Because that means somebody who doesn't see me correctly is leaving my life, opening up a space for somebody that does. But that new person who sees me correctly, do you know when they're going to show up? They're going to show up when I see me correctly. Because everything out there is mirroring me. So you can't expect the mirror to smile before you do. You're looking in the mirror, you're not sitting there going, when you smile, mirror, and I'll smile. But that's what we do all day, right? In this three-dimensional dream, because of course the miracle says, we are asleep, having a dream of being separate from each other. I said it again. He says, this is time for your lucid dream. So what is a lucid dream? He says, well, in a lucid dream, you tell the people they're dreaming. Have you ever had a lucid dream and you went, oh, this is a dream? And then did you ever say that and then change the dream? Or escape from the situation that you were in? I think all of us maybe have had that experience. So the Course in Miracles is saying to us, you're asleep, but you don't know it. And you're dreaming up everything that's happening to you. And you're listening to a voice that doesn't know that. You're listening to a voice that doesn't love you. You're listening to a voice that doesn't know the truth. You're listening to a voice that keeps you upset. So the Course in Miracles says, stop referring to people from your past experience to them. So because you're not really judging them. It's unnatural. It's delusional. So what is the Course in Miracles trying to teach you to do? He says, well, the Course in Miracles is trying to teach you how to look on everybody without a reference to the past. It's time for you to stop looking at me as from your past reference point, and don't even use your past reference point, and don't even use somebody else's past reference point. And you can only learn from what the person is right now when you're not using your past learning in order to, like for instance, I'm sure that there are people who are looking at me right now who, number one, think I'm a body. Then they think I'm a body that they would call a man of color or a black man, right? And then we'll take it. Then he's a teacher, and then there's the name Earl Purdy, and he's in Denver. People are looking at me that way because that's how they learn to look at me from their past and their life experience, right? So that means you're not seeing who I am right now. You're just seeing what you learned. The Course in Miracles, you know, the Course in Miracles teaches that perception is learning. That perception is learning. That everything that you see is just something you learned. And I went, what? And it says, like, I defy you to prove that wrong. Because you're looking at him right now and you're looking at him as Earl Purdy black man because you learned to see him as Earl Purdy black man. He said, your perception is always what you've learned. What if that learning was wrong? And suppose you were in a world full of other people who learned it wrong. Would that cause a lot of pain? Yes. Are you in a world that looks like there's many people going through pain? Yes. Well, then that means that you're in a world where people are seeing it wrong. This is the world where wrong people come. Where are you, Earl? Oh, I'm in the world where all the wrong people come. How do you know they're wrong? Jokers not loving to each other. They attack each other, broken into by periods where they go to Taylor Swift shows.
Those rich people.
Do you know some of the tickets to Taylor Swift's concert in Cincinnati are $82,000 a ticket? I looked at that, and you know what I did? I laughed. I think it's awesome that somebody would be on a level of what they call material wealth, where they would think $82,000 for a ticket was no problem. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, other people looking at it, I was like, why do you think highly of yourself? Right? And then to really know that if you really want to go to that concert, you would just simply created it where you did. You wouldn't have created the experience of having to really hunt for a ticket you can't have. Because you know you're a creator, and so you can create anything through your thoughts, through your mind, through the law of attraction, through the law of making and the law of creation, right? So the Course is saying if you really want to bring the past, when you're looking at somebody, if you want to hold the past in your mind, then when you're looking at me as a separate black man, he said that's the same as you throwing a veil or a shroud over me. And so you don't really see me, you just see the shroud over me. Do you follow what he says? What he's saying? That's what we do with everybody. Like when I walk up to you, or you, and I walk up to a female based on my past, my experience, then what I do, Megan, when I walk up to you, imagine me having a great big blanket, and I just drop it over you. We just met. And I just drop the blanket over you. Then I don't see Megan. As soon as I start looking at Megan in terms of every woman that I've ever known. Did y'all see what I did? So she's covered up by my past experiences and my past relationships. And if your past relationships never worked and your past relationships suck, you really don't want to choose nobody based on your judgment and your past experience. Because your track record should show you you're the last one you ought to be listening to. And that's where the voice for God talks to me. The Course in Miracles promised that one day the voice would talk to you, and it would talk to you the way that you would listen. That's how you would know, right? And that it would never ask you to do something that you weren't willing to do and able to do. And the Course in Miracles just started running down how I could tell when God was talking to me and when I was talking to me. So that's what it's saying right now. He says, if I put my past all over you, then it conceals your reality from my sight. He says, but the past is in you. The past is in you. He said, what? The past is in you. Now, I told you who you really are. He says, the child of God that's revealed to you now has no past. So you're not seeing me as the child of God. You're not seeing me as the child of love until you stop looking at me in terms of every experience you ever had of a black man your whole life and in the kind of way you've had that, just to use it as an example. Because I don't see myself as a black man. I don't see myself as a black man. I see myself as a being expressing through a body that has a certain color that is referenced to as a black man. I don't see myself the way most people see me. That's how you start getting your feelings hurt, because very little they're saying has any really relationship to you. So why should you get mad? They're not talking about you. So it's really funny. That's what he said. If you want to be aware of the truth, the way you become aware of the truth is to become aware of who you are. When you become aware of who you are, then you are aware of who everybody else is. Right? So I know if I'm making up my feelings and I'm making up my reality and I'm creating everything that's happening to me and my feelings, then I also know you are doing exactly the same thing. Every one of you all are creating your relationships in every aspect of your life exactly the way you are determining it through your beliefs. I'll say it again. Everything that you're experiencing right now is coming from you. Everything that you're experiencing right now is coming from you. Every single thing that you're experiencing in your life right now is coming from you. Everything that you are experiencing in your life right now is coming from you. Your relationships are coming from you. Your financial situation is coming from you. Your career situation is coming from you. Your love life is coming from you. Your sex life is coming from you. Every single thing that you are experiencing in your life right now is coming from your own mind. It's coming from your own mind. It's coming from your own mind. So if you want to change anything that you're going through right now, you need to change your mind. And so, but you know what the Course in Miracles definition of changing your mind is, which I love. He says, changing your mind is nothing but changing your purpose. And see, that sounds doable. Does that sound doable? Yeah, when you change your mind, you go, oh God, I'm here 50 times I heard I got to change my mind. Yeah. And then the Course in Miracles says, well, I could change your mind for you, but you haven't developed the willingness yet. I went, what? He said, yeah, I could change your whole life in 2 seconds. You're just not willing. I went, I always give the Holy Spirit the finger. we got an agreement. It's perfectly okay. The Holy Spirit laughs. Things are hilarious. I hear laughter. Because I learned to think the finger was a bad thing. Why did we choose this finger? What makes that thing? Can't you see how we gave it all the meaning that it has? And that's what the Course in Miracles is telling us. He said, you all are just reacting to meanings and names. He said, well, yeah, it's just names. Y'all just name stuff. And then by naming it, you separate it. This is a glass. This is a stand. This is a book. He says, it's all just one thing. You all are just one thing, and you're just acting like you're different things right now. And you've forgotten that you made the decision to have this separate experience. So you're acting like it's all being done to you because you forgot you're making it. And then what happens is you decide that the answer is to get everybody else to change so you can be happy. And that's what you're in the world. You're in a world full of, if you're around sad, fearful, angry, upset people, then you're in a world full of people who want everything and everybody else to be different in order for them to be happy. So the darkness is in you. He said the past learning is in you, but you don't have no past. I'm going to tell you the truth about you. You are totally loving and totally powerful, and nothing you can do is going to change that. You're totally loved, you're totally loving, you're totally a powerful being, and nothing's going to change that. Then it goes, me freeing you is what's going to free me. I said it again. Me freeing you is what's going to release me. He says it right here. He goes, blah, 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 change it. It's in this changelessness lies your release. The fact that you are going to always be loved and valuable no matter what you think about yourself. You're going to always be valuable no matter what you think about yourself. And that's what's going to bring about your release. He says, because if the child of God is as it was created, if you are the way you were created, then there's no guilt in you. So do you know that means you're not really being yourself until you don't feel guilty? How can you tell when you're really being yourself? You won't feel guilty. You might feel like you made some mistakes, and mistakes are for correction. I'm not saying be a sociopath. Like you see, tell somebody, you don't ever feel guilty. You don't want to feel guilty. You are Satan. There's nothing more evil than someone who hurts you and says, I don't feel guilty about it. You hate their guts when somebody acts like they're not upset about you being upset. You're not upset because you were hurt. Like I had a situation where I was getting ready to make myself feel hurt, and like I was neglecting the person, and then I was going to try to like let them know. Now you do to try to give them a chance to change, let them know how much and they act like they didn't care, so I stopped. I saw in that instant that they weren't in a place that they could recognize my call for love and answer it. You see what I'm saying? Because when I'm getting ready to act a fool, I'm getting ready to make a big old call for love. That's why the people say, I'm getting mad. I go, there's a call for love coming. What? I can feel a call for love coming up in me. And if I keep feeling this, we're going to also have right behind it the call for 911. There's a call for 911 and there's a call for God. Which one is going to be? Right? So he's telling you, he said, if you really being yourself, if you really being the true child of God, he says, first of all, there won't be any guilt in you, because guilt is what hides you from everybody. You feeling guilty and them feeling guilty, and you being upset and them being upset, that hides you from each other. So when you are in a relationship and you and your partner are having a rough time, you are hiding each other from each other. You are showing each other what's not you. So that says, because if the child of God has no guilt, then when I'm feeling guilt, I'm not really being my true self. So when you're feeling guilty, you're not really being your true self. And if you see me without looking at me in terms of the past, then you're not letting any guilt between us get in the way. And when you're not letting any guilt between us or anger between us get in the way, then you are revealed. I love how he says that. It stands revealed in everyone. So I want to be revealed to you. I would love to reveal myself to you. I would love to be able to be my true self with y'all. But I'm not, because I'm afraid of being judged. So I'm very careful about how I behave around people until I feel like I'm safe. And I know I'm never completely safe with somebody who thinks they're separate from me. And I know I'm never completely safe with somebody that thinks they're different from me. So I know it's still time for me to keep on keeping a little part of me incognito. I'm not safe yet. So that's why I need God. That's why I need spirit. I need something to take care of me. I don't know about you, but when I was first born and I was a baby, I didn't change myself. Something changed me, fed me, did all kinds, because I was helpless. See, when you get spiritually reborn, you are just like a baby, and you really can't do none of it for yourself by yourself. But adults come into the spiritual path still thinking that they should approach it the way they've learned, which is they think they should be in charge of the process. And that's where they screw up. And so the Course is saying you got to let go of the past. You got to let go of the way you learned in the past if you're not happy. You should not be hanging on to any kind of teaching, any kind of teacher, any kind of relationship, any kind of anybody that you are not experiencing happiness with and that you're not experiencing happiness in. That's how you know you either with the wrong person or you got the wrong perception of both of them. You are not doing the right thing if you're sad and depressed and unhappy most of the time about one thing or another. It means you're seeing it in terms of the past, that you're still creating your own past learnings and your own past experience. And so therefore you're not seeing your life as it is now. Now, not like before when I said you don't see the person as they are now when you put the past on them. The Course is saying you all are not even seeing your life as it is right now. Right. And how you know you're not seeing your life correctly? You hate it. You're criticizing it. You're judging it. You don't feel satisfied with it. So you're bringing that darkness with you. You're bringing the past with you. And so he says, I need to tell you where you really are. He says, because you're going to see yourself through yourself. You're going to see yourself through yourself. So what does that mean? Well, it means stop looking for somebody to show up who's going to be perfect for you when you aren't perfect for you. Stop going out there. You can go to every matchmaking site that's ever been created. And as long as you're not aware of who you are, you're not going to attract a relationship that's going to satisfy you. Stop wasting your time. And then I gave the Holy Spirit to Pinker. It's hilarious. Do y'all feel the foundation of your temple beginning to shake?
No.
And y'all kind of sitting up there kind of... What does it mean to be born again? What does it mean to be born again? What it means to be born again is to let the past go. So you say you're born again Christian, it means you're let the past go Christian. I've let the past go Christian. I'm a born again Christian. I've let all the past go. I've let that past learning go. I've let that past grievance go. I've let that fear go. I've let the past go. I've let the past go. I'm born again. I'm not the Earl I used to be. I'm born again. I don't believe the way I used to believe. I'm born again. I don't look at myself the way that the world teaches me to look at myself. I'm born again. I'm born again. This relationship is born again. You and I are not using what happened last week to keep us from enjoying each other right now. I'm not using what happened between me and my mama to keep us from having peace with each other right now. That's when I'm born again. I'm born again when I've let the gone go. That's when I'm born again. Then it goes, then that means you got to stop condemning your life right now. It says, Earl, you got to stop condemning your life right now. You got to stop condemning the people you're around right now, because if you haven't, then you have not been born again. You're not born again until you stop judging and condemning everybody around you. But I like to judge and condemn. He said, well, I'm going to give you a judgment that won't hurt you, since you just got to judge. You know you need to judge. You know you want to judge. You don't want to stop judging. I love judging. I love walking into a room and interpreting it. I love walking in and seeing you all and then coming up with all my ideas about what I think you're thinking and where you're coming from and how might you feel about me, how might I feel about you. I create egos for everybody I meet. I call it my opinion of you. That's me making up an identity for you. I've now made you up, because now I'm thinking of you in terms of everything I've gone through with somebody who looked like you. And not only did I make you up, I'm going to deal with you as if what I've just interpreted is the truth. I'm going to deal with you like you really are like my last boyfriend. That's deep, y'all. Some of y'all out there really hearing me and you're freaking out with excitement and joy. Some of you are on the floor, sleep. Some of you are in between stage. You're sort of like, that's normal. But it excites me. So I ain't getting off the motorcycle. Y'all can. Okay. He says, now what is hiding your father from you? What's hiding that person from you? You thinking about the past. You putting the past on them. You putting your script on them. That's what's keeping them the way they are right now, is because you're keeping the past. But I want you to know all the stuff that you think you've done in the past is past. Everything that happened to you in the past is past. It's gone. It's gone. That mistake you made, it's gone. I know you intellectually have heard that, but nobody's repeated it to you enough for you to really hear it. The cloud that keeps hiding you, and the cloud that keeps hiding that person that you're having that problem with, that you want to have some peace with, is your past judgments. You're dealing with them based on the past. So if you don't want the past interfering with your relationships, if you would have it past and gone, you've got to see who they are right now. If you are not seeing me who I am right now, then the past hasn't gone. If you still seeing everything the way you were taught before you start studying the truth, then the way you were taught is not gone, and you're still acting according to what you were taught, even though you're telling yourself you're a truth student. If anything I say you judge by anything that you learned in the past, then you're still in the past, and that's what he's trying. You know what I'm saying? He's like he's saying that if you don't let it go, it's still here. But see, I look for the other person to do something to make me want to let it go. Right? I'm looking for you to make up for what I think you did to me before I let it go. And so the Course in Miracles says to me, no, Earl, you really want to have a good time, then you need to realize that you're attacking yourself all the time. What? You are attacking yourself all the time. What? You are attacking yourself all the time. Oh, what do you mean I'm attacking myself? What do you mean the person is attacking themselves all the time? Well, you're the one that feel bad. I said, what? Well, Earl, don't you feel bad when you think about the grievance or what you upset with somebody about? Doesn't that make you feel bad? Okay. Then you're just attacking yourself with your grievances and your upset. Nobody's hurt feeling it but you. Nobody's feeling your anger and upset 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 and fear and sadness but you. That's how you know it's you're the only one that's feeling it, because nobody else is reacting. If I wasn't going through my stomach ache by myself, all y'all would be holding your stomach if my stomach was hurting. So whenever you experience anything and it seems like you're experiencing it by yourself, it's because you think you're alone and separate. So how do I get out of that? He says, well, the way you get out of it is to realize you're doing it. So I'm going to give about 1 minute recap in a minute. Do a quick little, do you know how there's a thing in the Bible about sometimes about when you look back, the chick look back, she turned into a pillar of salt. Lot's wife, right? And I was thinking about how metaphysically, that's really a trip when you think about it, because he's saying the same thing. If you all keep on looking back on the past and judging everything by the stuff you went through in the past, especially the things in the past that wasn't really pleasant and wasn't what you think of as a grievance or bad, then you're frozen, just like a pillar of salt. You're not going anywhere. You're stuck. That's okay. Everybody's going to get past that, but I'm going to give you a tip. Don't get in a relationship with a person that doesn't share your purpose and in alignment with you. Please. There's nothing you can do more to slow yourself down on a spiritual path than have a relationship. And there's nothing you can do on a spiritual path that could also, if you let it, speed you up like a relationship. But it is one or the other. You are not in a relationship that's giving you a little bit of heaven and a little bit of hell. You're in a relationship right now that's putting you all the way in hell or all the way in heaven. And the only reason why you're in it, and the only reason why you're going through what you're going through, is you don't know yourself. Because you can't be aware of the reality of the person you're with and not have a lot of self-awareness and awareness of who you are. So all that energy you're putting on somebody else, put that energy and direct that energy toward knowing yourself, you, And then you will attract to you or manifest around you or be sent to you the best friendships and the best connections and the realest relationships you've ever had in your life. That's good news.
Amen.
There's somebody out there excited about what I'm saying, whether they're local or not. There's somebody. Because I could swore I said something good, but
Yay.
oh, we wonder why it ain't happening. You know, it's so funny. Why isn't my good coming? Well, do you have any freaking enthusiasm about it? What I'm supposed to do? Make you enthusiastic about your life? That's the epitome of lazy. You so lazy that you get mad at me for not lifting you up. Oh, that's what Spirit talks to me. Well, anyway, those of you who dare, I'm going to give you the opportunity to share. I'm a full-time teacher of the Course in Miracles. That's what I do in the world. And if you like to make a financial expression of appreciation, yes, I do eat and have clothes and rent. I know some people get insulted if they even think you ask anything about money because they don't expect to be receiving anything for what they do. That's so funny. It's like you going to your boss on Friday looking for your paycheck. He says, "You just ought to feel good about what you did for the company this week. We're not gonna pay you."
Joke.
Oh, thank God God provides for you and me. Ah, God, the others take that and don't bring it back. All right. Those of you who, if you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, you can go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and you can use Zelle or PayPal, the Cash App, Venmo. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I'm just here to be truly helpful. I'm just here to represent who sent me. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, or somebody just got a hat.
Put a little offering.
Yeah. Well, you can tell I ain't really obsessed with the money. You know what I'm saying? Like I certainly would have had something to collect it in. You know, if that was my number. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is that I know what happened. They took the offering from the church and they took the bag upstairs. And they normally bring it back down, and they didn't. And so
you need like a square so people can just walk up and tap their card.
I couldn't go through that much. It's too much effort for me. I couldn't pull it off. So thank you for sharing. If you want to do that, it's Earl Purdy at earlpurdy.com. Earl Purdy at earlpurdy.com. I really, really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. This turned me on. See, like I've said many times in many classes, is that when most people are ready to go, I'm just getting warmed up. Because to me, it takes at least an hour to get your resistance out of the way enough to start hearing what it's saying, right? That's what it is for people who are really intensely into it, is that when you hear something that's really resonating with who you are, it energizes you. It makes you want more, right? So that's how the Course taught me, say, just keep it simple, Purdy. Just keep it simple. Go toward what you're attracted to and feels joyful and loving. And then what isn't doing that for me, then I know that's not necessarily the thing for me, and I might need to do something else. So what you want to realize is that this Father's Day is the same thing with everybody. It's like, if I look at you all and I look at you all in terms of my past experience that I've had as a teacher and past people that have come into my experience, then I don't get a chance to see who you are right now, right? And then if I'm relating to you based on relationships or classes and things that I've done in the past, then I'm really relating to something that's not really there. So that's also not seeing you as it is now. So the truth is, you don't see me and I don't see you yet. The truth is, you don't see me and I don't see you yet. So since I don't see you, is it fair for me to judge you when I'm really, how can I judge what you look like if there's a blanket over your head? How can I judge what you look like when there's a blanket over your head? So if I'm judging you, and I'm judging you in terms of what I've learned in the past and what I've experienced with people in the past, then I'm judging you based on an image of you that I really want to keep. So I said, there's another way I can look at my father, but I'm not willing to do it. There's another way I can look at my friend or my girlfriend. You see what I'm saying? It's like the Course in Miracles are saying to us, everything that's real is something you can do today. Everything that's real is always something you can do right now. Anything that's real is always something you can do right now. Anything that's real is always something you can do right now. Something that's not real is something you can't do right now. So anything you can't do right now isn't real. So the truth is, all your power is right now. So I'm saying spend it with somebody, focus it in on somebody, put that energy in the direction of something or someone that inspires you, moves you, excites you, and you feel really good to be around them. Because I guarantee you, unless you become that way, people who are that way, they won't want to be around you. And you wonder where they are. Well, they want to have a good time. They know they won't have one around your side, but so you know, and then you wonder, well, where are the happy people? They're not around you, Debbie Downer. But why don't people love me? Why don't they love you? They don't see you. You haven't showed them yourself yet. Wow. Wow. So I have to practice this as best I can, no matter how I feel. Sometimes I come in here and I'm dealing with my own past experiences and my own programming and reactions from the past that I'm having to see differently. A lot of times I don't say anything to anybody because they think that's me asking them for their advice. That's why I don't tell people a lot when I'm going through things, because they'll feel like it's an automatic trigger to tell me what I should be doing or what to do. They try to fix me. And they mean well. They mean well. But sometimes all you want to do for a healing is just be able to say exactly what you feel, exactly how you feel it, without anybody saying anything but being present with you while you're doing it. And right behind you being able to get it all out without judgment is the answer that you're looking for. It's the peace that you're looking for. Everything that you're hunting outside of yourself, if you could ever be around anybody that just could let you express how they feel without you saying anything and trying to fix them any kind of way, then that's when you all are going to see miracles in your connection and in your life beyond your wildest dreams. Do you think just because I don't feel good, I'm just giving an example, you think just because I don't feel good, I don't remember 40 years of teaching? Just because you just don't feel good, that doesn't mean you don't still know what you know, does it? When you're feeling bad, you still know what you know. So just because you feel bad is not necessarily a request for anybody to fix you or give you any kind of advice. Because you've been in this long enough, you're old enough souls that you know that when you are feeling bad, you're wrong-minded. You're wrong about it. You're wrong about it. Whatever you're upset about right now, you are wrong about the way you're looking at it. Whatever it is you're upset about, and somebody says, well, okay, well, what's the right way? The right way is to look at it like you're wrong about it. They go, what's the right way? The right way is to look at it like, not only are you wrong about what you're telling yourself about everything you're upset about, and let's take it a step further. I want you to hope you're wrong about whatever you're telling yourself right now that's making you feel the way you feel right now. I want you to go, I hope I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong about my father, I hope I'm wrong about my father, I hope I'm wrong. You got some forgiveness towards your father or anybody else that you're going through right now? Would you say, I hope I'm wrong about my father, I hope I'm wrong about that, I hope I'm wrong about my father, I hope I'm wrong about my father, I hope I'm wrong about my daddy, I hope I'm wrong about my daddy, I hope daddy, I hope I'm wrong, daddy, I hope I'm wrong, daddy, I hope I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong about you, I hope I'm wrong, I don't like the way I feel, I don't like the way I feel about you, so I hope I'm wrong about you. That's how you change your perception. I don't approach it. I hope I'm right about what I think you did to me. I hope I'm right about what I think you did to me. I hope I'm right about what I think you did to me. It's like, no. I hope I'm wrong about what I'm telling myself about you. Whew. So as you can see, we covered a lot. Oh my God, this stuff feels so good when it comes through my body. Wow. You can tell when you're using your body for something worthwhile. You're not constipated. Okay, so Get your spiritual awareness past the constipation test? That's the question. I think I entitled that. That's be the title of the class. Spiritual constipation. I bet I get more hits than ever. I'm going to do that. I would definitely do that. I'm going to call it spiritual constipation.
I'll be able to find it.
How do you want to get rid of spiritual constipation? Oh, man. Oh, mighty companions. Did y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Did y'all hear what it said? So are you going to immediately get an opportunity to see if this is true? Yeah, with everybody you meet for the rest of the day and the rest of this week. It helped me out so much. I'm telling you, y'all, if you just take a minute to go, am I having a past reaction right now? Just if you just be conscious enough to go, I'm reacting to something that happened in the past. Just say that. It may give you that microsecond you need to keep your sanity, to keep things from escalating into something that's really, really ugly. Because the minute you don't want to be right, the minute you don't have to be right, then the less defensive you're going to become. I love to tell people they're right. I love to agree. It's like, and this is what he says. You know, he said, okay, all right. Because what I'm agreeing with is your right to say it. Right? So I'm totally agreeing with you. Oh, I agree with you too. I agree with all of y'all. And that's the South, all of y'all. You know, you'll hear I say that, all of y'all. That sounds like a whole other language. All of you all. See, in the South, we save time. We do shortcuts. All y'all. So it cuts through about 4 or 5 words in one. That's why we talk the way we do. So I'm going to stop now. I'd like to ask you to take a breath. Would you let your father be born to you today? Will you truly let yourself have a happy Father's Day by not looking at your father and thinking about your father in terms of your past experiences? Are you willing to stop cherishing the image that you've had of your father more than what your father could be and what your father really is? Do you want to keep throwing the veil over them so that you never get a chance to see the love that they could give you, whether they're in the body or not? Would you be willing to practice having a little fun by everybody that you meet today? Try to remind yourself to play the game of how would I relate to this person without any reference point to my past experience with them. And I can tell you exactly what's going to start happening. What's going to start happening is you're going to start asking people more questions. You're going to be a person that's more interested than trying to be interested. See, if I let go of my judgments about you, if I let go of the past about you, then I have to ask you, what do you feel? What do you think? What do you want to do? How would you like to express yourself right now? The minute you let go of a person's past, you can tell when a person is not judging you by the past. How can you tell if a person is not judging you by your past? They will be asking you questions about what you want and what you think right now. So if you're around people that they never ask you anything about what you want or what you think, it's because they think they already know you based on their past experiences with you. So you're dealing with somebody who's no longer dealing with you. They're just dealing with somebody that's not there. And so that's going to keep you from really enjoying them the way you really could. I'm nicer than I used to be. So if somebody thinks I'm not as nice now, then they're missing an opportunity to have a much better time with me. You see what I mean? Yeah, because I'm much better than I was yesterday. So let it go so you can see this cool person that's in front of you right now. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Yes. On the Earl Purdy page on Facebook, you can listen to these classes. And I put all my classes on YouTube, y'all. On YouTube. If you want to have a personal one-on-one session with me, that's what I do. Then you can just go to my website, earlpurdy.com, read up on my clarity sessions, and you can self-book a time with me right from there. Because I would love to take all of this and apply it to the thing that you think you're going through, that you think there's no answer to, that there is. Wow, your problems have already been solved. Whoa, whoa. Okay, so let me do a 20-second dramatic ending. LaDon.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Is that dramatic? Listen to me. What's hiding that person from you having a really cool experience with them? You're focusing on something about the past that you're cherishing, that you don't want to let go of, but it's keeping you from experiencing this innocent, powerful, fun, loving being that could be in your presence right now. It's delusional to use what happened to you in the past and gone, to use the way you thought when you were 12 and 20 and 13, 40. I'm not going to go into fucking. Don't judge me by what I was then. Stop judging me by what I was then. Stop judging me by what I was then. Stop judging me by what I was in the past, in your perception. Stop judging me by who and what I was in the past, in your perception. Stop doing that so that I can be new to you, so you could be with the person that would be so thrilling to you, you wouldn't even know how you could even have drawn that much love and peace in your life right now. Stop throwing that veil and that cover, that shroud of the past over all your friends and all your relatives. Wow, did you hear that, Earl? Yes, I heard that, Spirit. You see that finger? So, mighty companions, may the course be with you. Say this to yourself. The past is over. It can touch me not. The past is over. It can touch me not. The past is over. And it can touch me not. The past is over. And it can touch me not. The past is over. And it cannot touch you. Listen to this. What you did in the past can't touch you. What you did in the past can't touch you. What you did in the past can't touch you now. What you did in the past can't touch you now. What you did in the past can't touch you now. What you did in that relationship in the past, it can't touch you now. That thing that you feel shame about, the thing you feel guilty about that happened in the past, it's over. It can't touch you now. The past means gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. What you did in the past is gone. Your past can touch you not. Your past can't touch you. The future can't touch you either. What you think might happen to you in the future, what you're afraid of that might happen to you, whatever you're anticipating that you're using to cause you any kind of pain or fear, it can't touch you. Your past is over. Be born again. Let your past go. Let your past beliefs about yourself go. Give you a break. Let your past beliefs about yourself go. Don't be with people who don't appreciate you. Be around people who find you irresistible or almost irresistible. Be around people who feel excited to be in your presence and feel happy to be in your presence. Those are the ones who love you, the ones who bring you joy, the ones who bring you happiness. The ones who don't, there are opportunities for you to choose for the ones who do. They're giving you an opportunity to make another choice. When you're in something that's not pleasant for you and it's not giving you peace, you're just in another situation that's giving you an opportunity to make another choice. Every situation that you're in is an opportunity to make what you want to happen, happen. The situation that you're in is an opportunity for you to make what you want to happen, happen. 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 This is what this moment is for. This is what this time is for. It's an opportunity for you to make what you want to happen, happen. You can make what you want to happen, happen. You can make what you want to happen, happen. Do you want to make what you want to happen happen? Then you have to stop looking at yourself in terms of the past and looking at everybody around you based on their past experiences and your past experiences, because that's unnatural. Stop being unnatural. Stop being unnatural and unfair. It's unfair to judge me by your old boyfriend. It's not fair to judge me by every person that you've ever met that looked like me. You're not meeting me. So I want to meet you. I want to meet every one of you. I want to meet the Christ in you. I want to meet the love in you. I want to meet the truth in you. So I've got to find it in me. The past is over. It cannot touch you. Your past that's causing you fear and guilt is over. It cannot touch you. And I went off. I went totally off. I was channeling. I love y'all. Thank you for showing up. I keep telling you, put some clothes on.